So today's video is going to be about one of the most talked topic in crypto space, one of the most hyped topic in crypto space, AI coins or AI tokens. Yes guys, today we are going to talk about 5 or let's say 6 different AI coins which I personally think could be a good buy for the next hype and also a good buy for the upcoming bull market. Yes, I am going to show you some AI coins which I personally think could be a good buy for the upcoming hype. And if you like what you just heard, then please destroy the like button before I jump into the content. And for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now let's start with render in a weekly time frame. Yes, RNDR is a very popular coin right now. Render token current price is around $2.66, market cap almost around $1 billion, volume around $150 million. Yes guys, render is currently a very hype AI coin, but is it a good buy even after this massive price movement? Yes, we have been seeing render coin showing some very nice impulsive movement, but now if we look at this price structure using this ascending channel, maybe the impulsive move might be ending very soon because we are approaching or getting rejection from one of the most important resistance line, the upper line resistance from this ascending channel. So please be careful. If you are considering to buy some render, then I would definitely wait for it to show some retracement, get attracted towards this lower trend line one more time, just like here from the past price action, before jumping into any trade, because that will also be a very important area around $1.90, $1.95 before jumping into any trade. Because if the price does shows any bullishness, then we know this will be a continuation pattern, higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern. And in our case, it's a very simple process guys. The previous high was retested, and also the previous high always acted as a strong line of support. What I mean by that, if you simply look at this ascending channel, inside this ascending channel, this here was the previous high. When we had a new higher highs and price started showing weakness, the price of render came back to test the previous temporary high before breaking it to the upside. Similar thing happened here. When we had a new higher high, what happened after that? We saw retracement. This retracement ended exactly when we tested the previous higher high and then slowly started forming another higher high. So if we look at this formation, this is clearly a higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern type of scenario. So if we do see any sort of a weakness, then we could see a trend continuation like this. Price of render slowly getting attracted here to the downside, but any sort of a consolidation, then we definitely want to see the price gaining momentum above $2.10. Yes, if we do see the price remaining above that range, we can clearly see that this here could be slowly preparing for another impulsive movement like this. Yes, an impulsive movement towards the next area of confluence, and in that case, this horizontal trend line is one very important line of resistance, right? And the next area of confluence where we could be getting gravitated is somewhere between $4 to $4.50, and that will trigger move of around 60 to 70%. And if we do see a retracement towards the lower trend line, that would trigger another 15 to 20% retracement for the upcoming days. And also breaking or failing to break out of this key line of resistance, the horizontal trend line resistance, and also the upper trend line resistance from this ascending channel, in that case we are also going to face resistance from this rising wedge. And we know rising wedge is usually considered bearish and also looked as a continuation pattern, bearish continuation pattern. So please keep a close eye around this range of $2.20, and if we do see price breaking below that, in that case we will look at this ascending channel, right, before deciding a trend duration. But I personally think I'm not going to trade this kind of coins. I will buy spot, guys. This is very clear. I will start accumulating around $1.90 to $1.60 range. Yes, this here for me is going to be a very important price range, because this exact line, this horizontal line, acted as a line of support and resistance here in the past price action. And that's why I think if we do see any sort of a bigger retracement, this exact line could be retested, and price after that could start showing consolidation and even start with a new impulsive movement. So this price range is where I will start accumulating some render spot. Now, beside render, now let's look at Singularity, guys. SingularityNET or AGIX. Current price sitting around 30 cents. Market cap around $378 million. Volume super solid above $110 million. Now, if we look at the price action, things are looking very, very interesting. Why? Because if we look at the price structure here, guys, you can see very clearly this price movement, what we are witnessing. If we look at this entire price action, you can see pump and dump type of movement, right? A clear pump and dump type of movement. But this retracement, what we are witnessing, might be ending very, very soon. Why? Because if you look at the price structure using a falling trend line, you can see, guys, the price of SingularityNET might be preparing itself for the new impulsive movement, because the line, this falling trend line resistance has already been broken, and we look like slowly starting a new impulsive movement. But for us right now, even though this horizontal trend line has already been broken, before we start buying, we need a proper breakout confirmation. I mean, this horizontal trend line has acted as a strong line of support in the past price action, and this line also rejected the price. So even though right now the price does looks like breaking out from this falling trend line, which is a bullish scenario, you can see we are still facing resistance from this horizontal trend line. So if you are looking for any buying opportunity, then I would definitely wait until a weekly candle close properly above 31-32 cents. Yes, guys, we need a proper support above this horizontal trend line. And after that, I personally will also start buying. Yes, I will buy SingularityNET once we flip this horizontal trend line into proper support around 31 cents, 32 cents. Now, beside the SingularityNET, beside the render token, let's jump into Fetch. Yes, guys, Fetch.ai, which is currently priced 25 cents, market cap around 200 million, volume $65 million. So if you look at this price action, it's very simple. It's very simple because the weekly is clearly indicating us now the area where we are getting attracted is a very important area, because the horizontal trend line here for Fed acted as a strong line of support. So this is exactly where we are testing the support. So if we do see any sort of a bigger shakeout, right, price also failing to hold the support around 21-22 cents, then this lower trend line is going to be the area of confluence where we could be getting gravitated. But please keep this in mind. This horizontal trend line has been a strong line of support in the past price action. So since the price has already shown a retracement, right, what could be happening here? The price could be showing a relief rally like this before showing a final move here to the downside. So in our case right now, since we are holding this 25 cent, I just want all of you to monitor this price movement carefully in a daily time frame, because the range what we are forming here could be looked like this. I mean, the price here could be forming a falling wedge, and this upper trend line could be the area where we could be getting attracted next. But if you are right thinking about taking advantage of this move, then wait until we find proper support above 24-25 cents, because remaining of 24-25 cents, well, trigger a slow move towards this upper trend line, which will be around 34-35 cents before deciding the trend duration like this. Yes, even though this trend clearly looks like it is heading here to the downside, wait until we break out of key line of support and resistance before jumping into any trade. But what I'm doing, I'm not trading the AI coins. I am buying spot. I am being very clear with you here. So even if this here does plays out in our favor in the smaller time frame, right, you can see this does looks like a double bottom formation type of scenario or broadening bottom. So if we do manage to flip this 26 into support 26 cent, then there could be a small relief rally type of movement which could bring the price again around 30 cent. Yes, 30 cent would be the next price objective once we hold this trend line or the support around 21-22 cent. Now, beside FetchAI, let's look at Ocean Protocol. Current price is around 34-35 cent. Market cap $214 million. Volume $34 million. So for Ocean, we are clearly following this falling trend line, which is also looking very, very interesting because you can see once we break out of this falling trend line, which previously acted as a strong line of resistance, we could be preparing ourselves for a next impulsive movement in our case, because this here could be looked as a falling wedge, and falling wedge is a bullish continuation pattern. So to all viewers watching this right now, you should definitely keep a close eye around it, because you can see the price right now is approaching around the key line of resistance, and once this key line of resistance gets broken, this could be a continuation pattern, a continuation where we could be getting attracted towards this horizontal trend line, and in a best case scenario, even the previous high. But for now, I will be clearly focusing around the resistance, which we have around 35, 36 cents. So if we can find support above 36, 37 cents, then there is a very high probability for this trend also to continue like this. A breakout like this, which would bring the price around 70, 80 cents, which is going to be more than 100% price increase, and for the best case could be up to 200% price increase. But I want you guys to simply monitor around this price range, because the lower line is not just only the support from this trend line, right? This trend line, but also the support from this horizontal line. This horizontal trend line in the past price action acted as a strong line of resistance. This is exactly where we came. This is exactly where we found support. So in the medium short term, if we do see any sort of a continuation happening, then we should definitely monitor the price movement around this area, right? You can see even in a smaller time frame, this looks super interesting. If we fail to break out of it, this will result in a retracement back to this horizontal trend line before deciding the trend duration. Either a breakdown, right, forming another lower low, or a breakout from this descending channel or falling wedge. Now let's jump into ING, a very popular coin, Injective. Current price $6.40, $6.39. Market cap around $511 million. Volume $25 million. So for ING, it's super simple. You can see the resistance has already been broken. Yes, guys, this falling trend line resistance has already been broken, and this has already resulted in an impulsive movement. So if the trend now is going to be exhausted after this breakout, this horizontal trend line where we are, this is one of the most important line right now if you are looking for any opportunity, I mean buying opportunity, because this is exactly where we are. The previous support line, which also acted as a resistance, this price range of $6.30 to $6 range is super important, because if we do show further weakness, the next area of confidence is lying around $4, and in the worst case, it could even come up to $2.60, $2.70. Why? Because if we do see further continuation here to the downside, then it might be, right? It might be a retest from this previous temporary waistline before, right? Before turning bullish like this. So that's why for Injective, I am definitely going to be patiently waiting for this retest to happen before jumping into any opportunity, because if you look at this price range, this falling trend line, even the horizontal trend line around that range would make a lot of sense. I mean, this horizontal trend line was one of the most important line of support, resistance, which even acted as a support. Now could be attracting the price around $2.73, but this would be a very bearish target in my opinion. But for now, let's hope that this range where we are right now holds the price, right? This range around $6 to $6.30 hold the price, because breaking that means another continuation here to the downside, which would trigger a sell-off around 25 to 30%, and in the worst case even around 40 to 50%. So I am not going to jump into Injective for now. I will simply monitor until the price gets attracted towards this key line of support before buying it. Now, the best for the last, which is the graph GRT, market cap around $1 billion, current price 11 12 cent, and volume $25 million. So GRT is super interesting, because the price right now is getting attracted, or is at this exact trend line which rejected it again and again. Yes, this falling trend line rejected the GRT, the graph, again and again. So this is exactly where we are. This is exactly where the price also found resistance. So if this here is going to be a continuation pattern here to the downside, then I will definitely wait some more time before jumping into any opportunity, because the area where we could be getting attracted next could be the line where we previously also found support. I mean, this horizontal trend line could be attracting the price before it finally starts showing some bullishness after breaking out of this falling trend line. Why? Because this here would also form an inverse head and shoulder type of formation. When we form the right shoulder and price breaks out of this falling trend line, then we could be heading towards to form the proper right shoulder and also breaking out from this 16 to 17 cent. That would trigger a very bullish move here for graph GRT. Yes, the graph could be showing a very impulsive movement around 54-55 cent. That means a move of more than 230%. So that's a very massive move. But in the downside, 25-26% move is expected to form a right shoulder, and I myself will start accumulating around this range of 8 cent to 7 cent. Yes guys, 7 to 8 cent would be my personal area where I will start accumulating, and I've been very clear, I will start buying spot, not for trading, because you know the AI market is just like meme coin, right? Very volatile. So I would be buying spot and preparing for the next hype, preparing for the next bull market. So these were some of our favorite AI coins. So if you like this kind of content, then please guys, destroy the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.